Oh, and I keep forgetting to put the captions on. Okay. Good evening, everybody. This is Alderman Lee with the 11th Ward. Let me turn my camera on so that you can see me. Hello, and welcome to the folks that are in the room physically here and all of you who are on Zoom. Again, Alderman Lee with the 11th Ward. It is Tuesday, May 21st. We are here for a second meeting regarding the property located at 3259 South Emerald, owned by Eric Chan, who's represented tonight by his attorney, Mr. Tom Pekarsky. The zoning change request is from an RS3, a single family residential, which it's currently zoned, to an RT4, which is a multifamily zoning categorization. So for those of you who haven't participated in this meeting, this type of meeting previously, Mr. Pekarsky and Mr. Chan will be able to provide a presentation overview of what the zoning changes for, present any plans that they have, and then we'll open it up to questions and concerns. So just to remind everybody, there was a meeting about this property a number of months ago. It was last year. And there were some concerns around parking, around garbage, around the capacity of the sewage system to handle additional people. You know, just I want to just note for folks that are here that these were some of the things that were covered. You know, it's a side lot that came with the property that he owns there, just right next door to the lot. And he's going to be, his intention is to build a building. Originally was a 3-story, 3-unit building. He's since brought that down. You know, when I look at zoning changes, for new construction, I'd look at the character of the block, right? So what exists there already? So I wouldn't allow anything more than, you know, a 3-story be built in the area, because there's nothing else that's more than 3 stories in the area. So if it fits within the character of the block, that's something that I'm looking for. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Mr. Pekarsky. And I have the drawings. Do you want me to bring those up on the screen, Tom?
I think that would probably be helpful.
Okay, hold on.
Better than my face.
I don't mind. I hate having my face be in the screen. Oh, I understand the feeling. So tell me what you'd like to show. Do you want to start with like the site plan?
Yeah, why don't we start with the site plan? And just for information, I know many of you were on the meeting previously, so I don't want to belabor the topic, but let me run through the generals on this. This is I'm first of all, I'm Tom Pekarsky of the law firm Gordon and Pekarsky, and I'm representing Eric Chan, who is the owner of this property. This is 3257 through 59 South Emerald Avenue. The site is located at the northeast corner of Emerald Avenue and 33rd Street. It's 2 legal lots totaling 49 feet in width by 125 feet in depth. 3259 is improved with an existing 2-unit residential building that will remain under this proposal without alteration. 3257 is the corner lot, and it's vacant. It's considered, but the city considers the lot a single.
Sorry. You have it backwards. 3259 is the lot, 3257 is the building.
Excuse me. It's the city considers it a single zoning lot, even though they are 2 legal lots. And Mr. Chan proposes to subdivide the lots. I think it would probably be most helpful to get to exactly what we are, the changes that we have proposed. We listened to the neighborhood, and we redesigned with some significant changes to both the site plan and the elevations themselves. How did we change? The FAR, that's the floor area ratio, or the bulk of the actual bulk size of the building, has been decreased from 1.2 to 1.06. Most importantly, the height has been decreased from 38 feet to 28 feet 10 inches, which complies with the existing zoning. So the height of this building fits in under the existing RS3 zoning. We decreased the number of units from 3 to 2, which of course has allowed us to decrease that height of the building. Also importantly, parking. We have switched from a 3-car pad at the rear to a 2.5-car garage. So everything will be fully enclosed, and it provides additional storage space to the residents. And while acting as a screen, I know that there was some questions about screening the property from the public way. This now acts, the garage now acts as a screen. We've also provided bigger balconies off of the back of the properties. That provides much more private space to each unit rather than the common outdoor space. This provides private outdoor space for each of the units for their use and enjoyment. We've also talking about the more common open space, backyard open space. We've increased the square footage of the rear yard open space from 204 feet to 212 square feet. So overall, this is a significantly smaller project, significantly better for the community in terms of size, in terms of height, and in terms of use. And we believe we've addressed all of the concerns that were voiced at the previous hearing. Now, as Alderman Lee stated, in order to build as proposed, we will need a zoning amendment from RS3 to RT4. This is consistent with some of the zoning on the block. There has been zoning changes at 3249 for new construction, and there is other RT4 on the block. But most importantly, this 2-unit building on the corner is consistent with the other 3 corners at 33rd and Emerald. Each of the corners holds a multi-unit building, and 2 of the 3 have multiple residential buildings on a single lot. So this is a consistent use in terms of the actual use that's being made out of the property, and in terms of the number of units that will be proposed for the property. With that, I would leave it open to questions from the residents and from the neighborhood regarding this proposal.
Okay, so we're gonna take questions. I've got one in the room already, so if you are in the Zoom line, if you wouldn't mind using the raise your hand function, so I know you have a question. The question in the room was, where's the garage? So I'm going to show you the garage. I believe that's the site, the first. Is it on the first one?
Yeah, it's on the first page at rear of the property. One more up.
Okay, sorry, right here. Rear of the property. So this is,
proposed garage.
Hold on a second. I just want to make it bigger. So can you see that on the screen behind me? This is the garage right here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the building. This is the garage, and the garage doors would face the alley. So it won't take up any parking spaces here. Because sometimes if the building is on the alley, sometimes the
Yes.
garages are turned. That would take up parking over here. So he made it so that the entrance to the parking lot, I'm sorry, to the garage. It's been a long day. Yes,
And as you can see, the garage is a 20 by 20. So that's a 2.5 car garage. That provides the normal space for the city of Chicago is 8 feet wide, by
for each vehicle.
19 feet long. So this provides 10 by 20. So each space is bigger, uh, it's big enough to also provide storage, enclosed storage, for each of the units.
So I think this could also, to answer your question from earlier about trash. There's enough space for his trash cans to be inside until the trash is going to be picked up. So they wouldn't just be sitting out necessarily.
And we also have that side yard, with
Yes,
3 foot side yard to the north of the garage.
so here in the gangway where it could be fenced,
Correct, and we will fence that.
they'll fence it in, so it won't be outside.
No, no.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
property will be fenced from from both the public way and the alley.
Is there going, okay, so one question at a time. So let's let them answer this. Is there going to be a fence around the 33rd Street side of the building?
Yes, we are proposing a fence there.
Is it a green fence or is it gonna be different?
Oh, I think it's gonna,
Fences, this one's.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to preserve that with the construction, like if they're, because they're gonna dig a foundation too.
Correct.
Uh,
It's the first floor unit is a duplex unit.
Yeah, the first floor unit is a duplex.
Question is, it looks like the first floor unit duplex is down, is that correct?
Yes.
And so how high is the garage?
How high is the garage?
And just a quick question, I can't see from here, is there a deck on top of the garage? Or is it is it a, like a kind of?
Yeah, we don't have a site elevation of the garage. It's just showing a footprint here. So do you know what size the garage is going to be?
I don't have a height, but it's a typical height of a
What's a,
garage,
just
one
a, just
story
a standard 1-story garage, nothing on top,
with a
No.
peaked roof. No,
with a peaked roof.
Oh, it's a big-
no, we're showing no stairs. There's no access to the garage. We're providing plenty of space both on the balconies and in the outdoor area. We believe for our residents where we wouldn't have to have garage rooftop deck.
Will the building be? And I guess a second question to that would be, is it gonna be a setback, the same setback that is with the building at 3257? Or is it a different setback?
We are, I am not, and let me take a look at the survey just to make sure, but the setback on this one is 5 foot, let me put on my glasses. real quick.
Looks like maybe
5'8", I believe, 5'6".
Yeah.
Sorry, which is, the required setback there is 5.44 feet, so we're actually in excess of the required setback at that location under the existing zoning. We will be significantly similar. I don't, looking at the survey for the 3259 building, it doesn't call out a distance from the, but it's a bayed window at the front and stairs that go all the way to the property line. So our project should provide a nearly identical front yard.
Okay, so we're not, I don't know, but we're not showing any stairs in front of the building on this.
No, the architect unfortunately didn't, but the stairs are present in the elevations if if you go down just a little bit more on the front elevation.
No, on the, well,
Oh,
this,
Hi,
what's
I'm sorry.
labeled front,
Yeah,
what's labeled front doesn't show any stairs.
Okay,
The front have no stair, I'm sorry.
It's a side entrance here.
Yeah, it's a side
here.
entrance.
It's
I
right here.
apologize.
Yeah, yeah. That, it's a side entrance from the
Oh,
gangway.
I see.
You see, this is the entrance to the building here.
Yeah.
Is that is that the street view? And is there an entrance on the street? No.
No,
I mean,
this is on the other side.
Right,
This is not 33rd Street. It's on the other side. It's between the two houses.
correct. We're providing a 3-foot
Yes.
side yard on that side of
Right.
on the north side of the property.
There's no entrance at 3259,
Not from the front. It's going to be a side entrance.
but in the back, facing 3257.
The middle of the building, yes, facing
Okay.
3257. That's this right here. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Are you going to do, I'm gonna ask and then Chris, I see your hand raised and we'll get to you on the Zoom. Can you talk about whether or not there's gonna be any landscaping on the front? Because these drawings don't show any landscaping in the front, and this was something that was raised previously.
Yeah, we are planning on greening it. We will have grass. We don't have a landscape plan at the moment. I think the last time we spoke, the landscaping was the landscaping issue was really at the rear of the property because we weren't providing a garage.
They wanted something that was gonna cover,
The
the
rear
back.
from the alley to the home.
yeah, the
now
front
we're-
was also an issue. I do recall that. So just to, yeah, yeah. So you're talking about landscaping for 33rd Street. So along the 33rd Street side of the building, is there going to be landscaping there? So they're gonna put up a fence, so there's not going to be, yeah,
No, there will not be any landscaping. It's only an 8-inch
okay.
size.
So there won't be any landscaping on the 33rd Street side because they're putting up a fence. Okay, so Chris, you have a question. Let's go to you. I think you're
Thank
still on
you.
mute.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
I'm still here. I'm trying to get myself situated. I am multitasking,
No problem.
as one could potentially
buddy.
imagine. Yeah, we're hanging out right before bedtime. Thanks so
Okay.
much. So I was reasonably happy with the last plan. This plan also kind of seems fine for the record. I'm excited to see more units in the neighborhood so that we can have more awesome neighbors on our awesome blocks here. My main question basically is actually for Alderwoman Lee. So that alley, there is a like when there is a built up garage on both sides of the alley, right at the end of the alley, it's really hard to see what's out there when you're either coming out either in a car or on a bike or walking even. It's a real danger spot, if you know what I mean, when there's two things all the way built up. Like for instance, that same alley at the north end, there's these two white plastic fences and it's really hard to see what's going on outside as you're pulling up to it. I was wondering whether you would be able to put in like some curbs, some daylighting so that nobody can park within like say 10 feet of the alley on either side, so that as people pull out, they can see more of the traffic and safely get out of the alley. Is that something that you'd be interested in entertaining?
I think we can, look, I want the neighborhood to be safe always, so let's start there.
Yes. Yes.
Hold on one second, John. So I'm happy to look into that to see what we can do to make sure that traffic coming in and out of that alley and pedestrians and bicyclists as well.
Yeah.
Because I know you fall into all of those categories.
That is absolutely correct.
And you've got a little very important package there too, that
Yes.
rides the bike with you. So I understand what your concern is. It's the first time that I've had that request for an alley. I get that generally for streets, because a lot of times people end up parking on streets past where the clearance area should be. So when
Right.
you're coming to turn out onto a major street, you're
Yes.
coming out blind, right? So that's
Yep.
essentially the problem you're trying to address right
Yes.
here. So that juxtaposed and balancing the challenge of availability of parking on the street is what we're going to have to balance. So
Right.
I'm assuming that's where you were going with this.
So I was
Yes,
gonna.
yeah, I understand that that's the trade-off,
Yeah.
and it's for you and CDOT to make that
Yeah.
decision. But that's just me kind of saying that's the only thing that when I think about this plan, that's the only concern that I have. So
Right, because
I
if a garage,
appreciate,
if a garage wasn't there and it was just a parking pad, you could actually see out farther. 'cause there's
exactly, yeah, it would be a
physical
little bit
structure.
better. I understand that a garage is kind of a better amenity, but yeah, that is an issue I have coming out of that alley on the north side. And it's not like I change which direction I come out based on that. I just, everybody has to be a little bit more careful, and there's close calls if somebody's walking at a steady clip, and even if you're going real slow coming out, it can be a little tricky to kind of see them.
Yeah, let me take it up with CDOT to try
Mhm.
to get some suggestions. Look, and just for the record, traffic along Emerald and Union are of
Mhm.
and Low for that matter, are all big concerns with the speed
Yes.
at which people are traveling down these streets.
100%. Yeah,
Yes,
it is really
flying through
unfortunate
red
that Union
lights.
gets used as an alternative to Halsted as a through street.
Yeah,
I can clock people going 40 plus down
Yeah.
our street. Like
I-
John would know as well.
I completely agree with you, and that is something that we are studying with CDOT right now.
That's great to hear. Thank you.
I think that those traffic lights, personally, I feel like they make people go faster because people are always trying to gun it to beat it.
Mhm. I agree. You want to put in a roundabout? You want to come up with some other exciting ideas? I'm all ears. Thank you very much for looking into
All
that.
right. Thank
Also,
you, Chris.
in addressing that point, we are providing a 2-inch, a 2-foot apron between the alley and the beginning of our garage. So it won't be up to the property line.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. That every inch counts, and 24 of them is great. That's helpful and appreciated.
Yeah, parking is a premium.
Yeah.
But another suggestion would be, I know that there are a bunch of alleys and a bunch of corners that have mirrors. That are situated on telephone poles at the end of the alley and things, so people can see cars coming back and forth, or can see cars going up the alley. And Chris, a neighbor one too.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll make a note. We'll talk to CDOT about how we ensure the safest possible scenarios for everybody there. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I live on 33rd and Union, right across the street.
Uh-huh.
I'm right there. And I think this development's great. I think adding more neighbors is good, adding more housing is good to the neighborhood. From the sounds of it, I probably would have been, I didn't get to go to the first community meeting, which is a shame. But
I can send you the recording if you want to see it.
It's fine. I would have been fine with the 3-story one
Yeah.
as well. I mean, it's in line with the character of the neighborhood. I live in the neighborhood. I care a lot. I'm right here. Yeah.
Story building on this.
I live in a 2-story building. Don't know what to think about. I'm good with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you have community support on this one.
Thank
Right, exactly.
Mary, did you have any questions? Yeah, it's 2 units. So the bottom unit will be a duplex, so it have the basement and then the first floor, and then there'll be a second floor unit. No, just 2. That's all they're being approved for. And what this would be what's called a type 1 zoning change. So the plans that they're presenting are the plans that have to be submitted. If they make any variation to the plans that they submit, then like if they want to move let's say they want to make the garage a little bit taller because they have an SUV they want to get in there, it's a Hummer or something, then they would have to come back again because of the type of zoning change this is. Mr. Prakarsky, just to remind you, anything we talked about this the last time, we would like for there to be a covenant around restriction around short-term rental, so no Airbnb.
Certainly.
Great.
I do think I believe I misspoke about the fence along 33rd. I think if it's a deal breaker for the neighborhood, we certainly can do it, but I don't think we're showing a fence along because of that small, that small side yard on 33rd, we're not showing a fence currently. If it's something that's desired, we can do it in order to have this deal go through, but it's not being shown on the plans.
So, okay, I'll come back to the question in the chat. So I think that it would be advisable to have at least some fencing to close off the yard from 33rd Street, from the back of the building to the garage.
Mhm.
You might want to consider that. I don't know that. I'm gonna just take your point earlier about how many fences there are everywhere. So would you be happier if there was not a fence for the full length of the building?
I'm sorry, can I speak?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
Eric. It's
Yeah,
your,
I
it's
would
your,
like, yeah, I would like a fence.
oh, you want to put a fence the full length of the
Yeah, if
building?
it's possible, yes,
Yeah,
for privacy.
yeah, yeah. So we'll put in, I think the fence there, yeah. Well, I mean, it's empty. I mean, because the
Aesthetics, so that
Yes, it was, see, maybe agrees.
then again, the aesthetics have been reduced.
yeah, and then I know he sold the property, and then this is, kind of how this goes. I understand, like, it was beautiful trees there. And I think that, as it goes, the property owner has a right to do with what he wants with it. I mean, frankly, he could have taken down the trees and just left the lot empty. He absolutely could have done that. That's 100% within his rights. Well, and so he's gonna build a building there, and to his credit, and it's taken a long time to sort of come back and forth on this, but I think he heard you, the community's concerns. We had a concern about the height of the building and the additional unit, to which he was willing to remove a unit, and that's removing income from him, frankly. I mean, that he's brought the height down lower than what I would have asked for originally. But that's something that he wants to be a good neighbor. Eric, are you going to be living in this building too? In one of the units? Or your
In the
family?
future maybe, but not
Yeah.
not planning now.
Okay, but Eric, and remind me, do you live in the area?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so he lives in the community. I know sometimes that comes up. He's not. No, he's not the architect. Not Chris, Ron Very is the architect. And Ron Very does a lot of work in the neighborhood. His dad designed a house for my parents many years ago. But he has, look, I'm inclined to support this zoning change so that he can build this structure. The question in the chat was whether or not there are other buildings that look like this similar design. I can't tell you that with certainty. I think it was Loretta who asked this question. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to the chat at this point.
Do they mean the side entrance?
Is that what you mean, Loretta, the side entrance? Because many buildings do have side entrances along Emerald.
At the north end of the block?
Yeah. I mean, I have friends who have houses with side entrances. But if you're talking, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't understand the fence going along the building on the side. There wouldn't be a purpose for that, would there?
What's the purpose for the fence going along the side of the building?
It's a privacy fence.
Yeah.
It's probably a better aesthetic too, as you're walking there.
It's definitely privacy for the backyard and the garage area, so.
And the windows.
Yeah.
So nobody breaks them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, if not,
Construction begin on this.
so, the timing of all of this, Tom, so I'm inclined to support the zoning change, so we will be providing a support letter. Tom, how quickly would you file this for next month for an introduction next month?
I don't know if we'll be able to get it up that quickly. I think we'll have to refile the case. We had filed it. I don't think
Right.
we can, if maybe you and I can speak later.
Yeah, we can talk
But
offline.
Yeah,
So
I-
just to answer the question in the room, though, the zoning change process has to take place before they can even file for the right permits. So I think best case scenario, if they were, so Eric and Tom, like how, like best case scenario, quickest, would you be breaking ground this year or next year at this point? Because you're gonna lose, we're gonna get into the colder months here because the zoning change will take a couple months
I think
Uh,
you probably have to assume
next year.
spring of next year.
Yeah.
Permits take a while to,
Yeah, the city's not fast with the permits, so yeah. Yes, Mary. Yes, because it was zoned for a single family home. Yeah, so if you want. Yeah. No, it was combined with the building because it was one zoning lot for single family residential. All right, well, great. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And Tom, we can talk offline about when you get this filed or how I can help with that.
okay.
But I think I appreciate everybody's feedback, and a copy of this will be available on our, we'll put it out in the newsletter, but it'll be on our YouTube channel for any of your neighbors who missed it.
Great.
Yes,
Thank you all for your interest and your time. And thank you
that's
all.
okay. I'm gonna stop recording. We can keep talking, you and I.
Okay.